You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Once Upon a Time After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Once Upon a Time After Show.
Hello, Oncers. We are back in the studio, being is for doing, and we're here doing another AFTERBUZZ TV after show for Once Upon a Time, Season 2, Episode 14, Manhattan. Now, you may have noticed by now that we're missing one of our lovely female co-hosts. Kathy Kelly is not here right now, but we're going to hold it down for her in her absence. I'm Tiona Hobson, and joining me tonight, I have...
Hi everyone, I'm Marisa Serafini.
And I'm Kaori Takee.
Okay, so this episode, initial reactions.
Oh,
yay,
my
nay.
goodness. Yes.
Kathy is missing out because this is a stupendous episode.
This is a horrible one to miss out on.
So many reveals.
So many. And I'm glad that they did not make us wait till the end of the episode to get the reveals, because I was kind of concerned that it might drag out and then, you know, the cliffhanger at the end would be the reveals.
Yeah, thank goodness they got right into it.
Yeah. Speaking of it, let's get right into this crazy, crazy family reunion of sorts that took place in Manhattan. So, as we all know, Rumple and Emma and Henry all are in Manhattan looking for Bay. They show up at his apartment because I guess the map that Gold had gave them the right apartment, but just not the apartment number. So, you know, they're ringing on all the bells. Finally, they get a hold of him. He then jumps out the window, starts running, and this is where Emma goes chasing after him in her true Emma fashion. I love that she tackles him when she finally catches up to him.
That was a great way to stop him.
Great way to stop him. And then
Go woman power.
Woman power, right? And then the first reveal of the night is that we see Neil Cassidy is Bay.
Is Bay.
Well, that was our prediction.
Yes.
So
Go us.
2 for 2, Cora and then Neil.
Yes.
You know, we're hanging on.
We
right
saw that a
here.
long time ago.
We made that prediction a really long time ago. I think it was after the Tallahassee episode where we really put together that Bay and Neil had to be the same person.
2 and 2.
Yeah, so that was, I felt like that was a big payoff for me in the prediction range of the scope and everything. And it's interesting to see, because after they run into each other, my first thought was, oh my God, Henry thinks his dad's dead. What's that going to be like? Which we'll talk about later, how Henry handles the news. But
He handled really well.
yeah, so they go to this bar because he wants to talk. Emma's still shocked, like cannot believe that Neil is here and that he's Bay. So she has all these questions. Did you know? How long did you know? You know, were you just using me and all this stuff? So how did you guys feel about his sort of explanation of why? I mean, because he does reveal,
I still
you know,
felt
that
a little,
August was behind it.
I still felt a little puzzled by his explanation. I didn't feel like it was a
I feel like it wasn't the
explanation.
whole story.
No, there was still something missing. I mean, the best thing was what was in the box, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, speaking of this box. So it's been going on for ages. What's in the box? That's been the big, big question out there. How did you guys feel about what was actually in the box? Did it live up to the hype and the
No, it did
expectations?
not.
No, it was kind of anticlimactic.
A little disappointed there.
right?
At least we got an answer. I know you're Balefire, but
And it was the typewriter too.
right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I think we did mention.
Yeah, I think we
typewriter, too. We
mentioned
threw
a
that
typewriter.
there in the mix. But when we first saw the reveal of Neil, that after Emma chased him down, I was like, we just saw him in the apartment. That doesn't necessarily mean that's Bae. He could know Bae, or he was looking for Bae at his apartment, but then when they revealed what was finally in the box, I was like, oh, okay.
It has to
All
be
right.
Bae.
I was like, now I believe it. But I loved all of our reactions when we saw it. Like, we literally all like leaned forward,
on the
like,
edge of our
what is
seats.
it?
We did.
What is it?
I was kind of scared we were gonna fall over because everyone was on the edge of their seats, like over the TV, waiting for this big reveal. And I don't know, it just didn't. I don't know what it could have been that would have made it awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
I mean, it's pretty awesome, but I just was expecting a little bit more, something bigger.
I hear ya. I think it's crazy though, because you look at how Henry is actually tying everyone in, frenemies, and suddenly now he is Rumple's grandson. So now Emma's related to Rumple somehow.
This is a crazy family.
So I mean, they're all related and they all hate each other. It's crazy.
Yes, and
It's bad after school special, you know?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I really feel like they're going to need to draw, well, they probably need to draw out the family tree. Henry's probably the only one who understands how everyone's related now, but he's going to have to explain it to everyone else because it's a little confusing now.
Oh, it's super confusing.
Right.
I think we should draw a family tree
Yeah.
and put it up next time.
Just so
work
we
on
can
that.
understand. But do you think Henrik would have found out that Bae was his father if he, had that family tree?
I think he was so genuinely believing Emma that his father was a firefighter, he was a hero, that he died in service, and he was a genuinely good guy, that I don't think he ever thought twice about
Yeah. I
could
don't
his
think
father have
so
been someone
either.
from the fairy tale world.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. He wouldn't have been able to tell.
Which my next question is, which this might be a little bit into predictions, but how has Bae stayed so young for so long? Because
looks
it's been,
aged. He's got some
I mean, he's
pepper.
aged, but he's not as aged as he should be. Because if you look on the timeline where Rumple, it's been a lot longer than 28
No,
years that he's been looking for his
I
son
hear
and
ya.
that they've been separated. So unless time works differently,
Yeah, he should be
Places.
in
He
like
should be-
his late 30s.
Oh yeah, he should be super. I was
should be-
thinking like back in Tallahassee compared to now. I'm like,
oh no, I'm just thinking about, from when he was 14 and
Right.
came through the portal. Because Rumple's been searching for him for a lot of years. He's seen a lot.
maybe he's got some magic, and maybe
keeps getting caught.
maybe we'll figure that out in the future episodes. Why time is more forgiving
Yeah.
to him.
Hopefully they will figure that out. But so once they are at the bar and they're talking, Bae does not want to go back and face his father. He doesn't want to see this guy. He's abandoned him. He's been spending his whole life running away from this man, so he does not want anything to do with him. So he kind of asks Emma, after he's shocked that Emma made a deal with him because he knows what it's like to make a deal with Rumplestiltskin. He's like, just tell him that you didn't find me, that you couldn't find me anywhere, and that, I got away. Do not let him come back here. And Emma kind of goes with it just because she wants to protect Henry. And I love that she called her mom, because
Okay, yeah,
that's just
cute.
a
Right.
testament of how strong their relationship is now, especially because they were always friends when she was Mary Margaret.
Right.
They were really good friends. But that's who you call when you need advice like this. I call my mom for everything. It's like, Mom, I don't know what shoelaces to put in. And, it's like the littlest things like that. So I thought it was really, really, I love that she was reaching out to her mom for help and guidance in that moment. Maybe that was just me. I don't know.
No, I liked it. I thought it was a
Okay.
good moment too. I don't reach out to my mom unless I'm like crying in my bed over something. But tie my shoelaces. All right.
I mean, moms are there.
Yeah,
for
they are
everything.
there.
They always
Yeah.
answer the phone.
That's what parents should be for,
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that will always have that unconditional love for you and will be there at the end. Should be.
I know that Emma meant well by not telling Henry or choosing to pretend that she didn't know what happened with Bae, but I think she made a mistake again, that she didn't tell them what happened.
Yeah. It's
That
one
was
of
a
those,
mistake.
It's one of those mom trying to overly protect your child again, where we've seen it before with even Cora and Regina.
Right.
Being overprotective can sometimes drive your child away from you. In their case, hopefully it does not happen with Emma and Henry.
And when you see that in reflection, you think maybe Regina was also protecting Henry in season 1 by telling him, like, going to see a psychiatrist and protecting him from truth as well. So, again, I'm pro Regina, so I'm thinking maybe Regina has good in her, you know, so.
I don't know. We'll talk about that later. Homegirl been up to some stuff now. So then Emma gets back, tells Gold that, you know, son got away. Sorry about it, basically. So now Rumple wants to break into his apartment and just sort of wait for him to show up. He's like, he lives here. He's got to come back. Which I was thinking, well, if he knows that someone's there looking for him and if he ran, why would he go back to the scene?
Well, he has to live there, right?
I don't know. I would have just
You have to go
fled.
back for
He
something.
needs to sleep somewhere.
It is New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who wants to sleep on the streets of New York now?
I think I know deep down probably Bay knew that he would have to come face to face with Rumple. Rumple made it this far into the real world that he's going to have to confront his father sooner or later. So might as well be to
Might
protect
as
Emma.
well be.
Yeah, and Neil also said that he came back for Emma to make sure that Rumple wouldn't hurt her.
Exactly.
Because he's seen what he does to people who break a deal with him, which is scary. I want to talk about the dream catcher
Yeah.
in the apartment because it's the same one from the Tallahassee episode, right?
The hotel.
The hotel that she took it from.
It sure looks like it, yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that when we first saw it, we were like, that's going to come back into play somehow. I know Marisa was over there saying some things about Emma's magic or something.
Yeah, if they bring it back to Storybrook and they have access to magic again, I think Emma will use her magic and find out all these memories of Bay that like have been missing for the past 28 years.
Kind of like the.
We'll reveal more information about him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what he's been up to.
I like that.
I like it too. I didn't like the idea of when Rumple wanted to bring him back and say, like, I'll help you forget.
Yeah, that was
I'll bring you back
just-
to 14. I was like, no, we'd rather see the Dreamcatcher idea.
What kind
Okay.
of grown man wants to go back to being 14?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go back to being 21. You know? So,
It's like, who?
no offense,
Dad?
21-year-old.
I was like, Dad, come on. I would not want to go back in time. Not to that age. If you're going to
No.
take me to an age, maybe 21 would be a little better than going through puberty again at like 14 and stuff.
But 14 was the age
Yeah,
you
where
know,
he-
when that all started, when Rumple left him. But that makes me wonder, like, if Rumple always had the magic to turn back time or back to that, how come he hasn't done it earlier?
Yeah, why
for
didn't he just go
anything.
back in time and go through the portal with his
Again.
son?
Yeah,
It might be
do it again.
a lot more difficult.
More
than he
difficult.
explained. Maybe they have to do it like a team effort.
But he has the ability to do that.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
now we know that.
And now we know.
Now we know.
And what about the confrontation when everyone's yelling in the apartment and Henry walks out. It's like, why is everyone yelling? And Emma tries to get him to go back inside, and there's the whole back and forth with I keep wanting to call him Bay. I don't know if I should call him Bay or Neil at this point.
I know.
I'm like, oh, this
No.
double name thing is really throwing
I
me
always
off
do
right
that
now.
too.
So Neil Bay, he's like, "Is that my son?" And then everyone's faces just kind of drop, and I just thought it was funny but serious, and I don't know. I just loved that scene.
It was a pivotal scene, though.
It was.
It was like, finally, we figured this all out. This is a huge piece of the puzzle. Now, Rumple, how big of a mean person, I was about to cuss, is he going to be to his grandson now? And,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a good piece.
It
No,
is.
I agree. It was funny and yet serious because we finally find out. But then he, Henry backs up there. He's like, "You told me that my father died. He was a fireman." And then we're like, "Oh, right, she did say that."
Yeah.
How are you going to save yourself,
Which-
Emma?
Yeah, which is really scary because when they were out on the fire escape talking afterwards, I was scared that Henry was not going to handle the news as well as he did. Because
He handled it too well, I think.
he did, right?
Yes.
Because I feel like a kid like Henry would have more of a reaction. I was scared that finding out the news and him even pointing out that she was just like Regina
That was
and that she lied to him too. In my mind, I was like, oh my gosh, is he gonna run back to Storybrook and like go running back to his other mother? That really scared me for a second.
Well, I really like that he compared her to
Yes.
Regina because it shows that again, Regina's great, is that Regina's, she makes mistakes. Because Emma is so great, but she also makes mistakes. And that's just defining. Henry's telling her, you know what? You messed up the way my other mother did. So, I mean, again, I think Henry handled it very, very maturely, because I wouldn't have handled it that way. I probably would have slapped someone and ran down the stairs, but he was like, I just want to meet my father now.
Yeah, when he went for that window, I thought he was gonna run out into the city
Yes.
and be alone. I was even like, young kid in a city he doesn't know, running around on the streets by himself. Why isn't anyone following him? And then he just made it outside.
Yeah, I was like, he'll be okay. I mean, he went to Boston and found Emma by himself, on
That's true. I
on his own. The
forget
very
about
first
that.
episode.
I was like, he'll be fine if he runs away.
Yeah, that's a
as
good
terrible
point.
as that might sound. I'm like, he'll be fine.
As horrible as that is. So then Rumple has to convince Bay to talk to him, because he clearly realizes, even before it was revealed that they knew each other and that Emma and Bay had a son together, Rumple knew that those two knew each other. It was awkward, when they encountered each other. So he clearly knows that this is someone who Bay cares about. So he's kind of using her against him to get his way, because he's like, oh, well, if you want her to fulfill her deal with me, the deal was to get you to talk to me, not just to get you here. So now you have to come talk to me in order for her to be out of harm's way, basically, is what he was saying.
I don't think Rumple would have really harmed her, but that was a really smart move of him.
You don't think he would have hurt her?
Nah, he needs her for a while.
Because when
No.
they were in a fight before Neil came into the room, he said something about, he'll force her to talk because he felt like she was holding back. And at that point, I was thinking he was going to do something to Henry
Oh.
to get her to talk.
Well, see, there's a difference between being angry and wanting to slap someone and then actually slapping someone. So I don't think he was gonna do it just yet. He has a lot of uses for Emma.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
I don't know. I think Rumple has the ability of really hurting Emma, but the fact that Emma asked Henry to leave the room first, I was like, oh no, what is Rumple gonna do? Because if Henry stayed in the room, like I said last week, having a child around, Rumple would be less inclined to do to hurt Emma or hurt anyone or use any evil, have any bad behavior or whatnot. So, but once Henry left the room, I was like, oh, he could do something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was scary.
something serious.
I loved that. I mean, we talked about how Rumple and Bay, their talk was basically about Rumple reversing the hands of time. And I love that Bay tells him, you can never undo the fact that for years I went to sleep with that image of me hanging down that portal and you holding my hand and then
Yeah.
letting go of that. I almost teared up in that moment. I don't know if I was the only one.
That was a strong visual, though.
It was.
remember.
It puts things into perspective, especially for Rumple, because he's not thinking about what his son has lived through. All he's been focused on is finding him. He hadn't been thinking about the other side of things and how he would feel about being abandoned.
But it goes both ways. Why Bay hasn't been thinking? Granted, he's been abandoned, yes, but he hasn't been thinking about. My father is coming here talking about regret and wanting to make things right, and he's not thinking about what his father has been through. All this stuff
That's
just
true.
to get his son. So
They need to sit down and have
more than 3 minutes.
more than 3 minutes. Maybe sit down over some tea and coffee.
Tea. Have some crumpets as well.
Have some tea and crumpets. See how it works out for you guys. And I just thought it was so cute at the end of this sort of part of the story where Henry and Bay are on the fire escape together, and it's just so nonchalant. It's a total guy conversation. So you're my dad.
Yeah. It was,
Yep.
it was no
That's all you need.
Yeah, it was no emotional hugging and we have to talk about our feelings. It was just so you're my dad. Yep. Sorry it took me so long to get here, kid.
I thought it was.
Don't worry, you didn't know.
Bay did pat Henry on the
Yeah,
back.
Yeah.
that's true. Well, didn't you
There's
guys
some
think it was a
affection.
little underwhelming? Didn't you want more out of this reunion?
I think I got enough of it in the beginning part, just the
Right.
drama of getting to there. That this part for me, I was very happy that everyone was okay, but I know that them being okay now means that later on, as in 2 weeks, they're not going to be
2
okay.
weeks.
No.
They're not going to be okay.
I agree. I think we were just happy with the fact that we got answers.
Yes.
And now we're like, okay, now what happens? that's where all the questions and drama comes from.
come back together
Yep.
right there. So we're going to talk about Rumplestiltskin back in the day in the old time fairy tale world. But before we do that, I just want to give a quick note to everyone. If you're not watching us live or on YouTube, make sure you go into iTunes and search for us. You can log into iTunes, go to AFTERBUZZ TV Once Upon a Time, find our show, subscribe to it, rate us, give us 5 stars, leave us a comment, and we'll be sure to give you a shout out on the show at some point. And yeah, tell a friend, tell many friends, spread the word, and let us know what you like and what you don't like about our show, and we will do our best to be better at it for you, the viewer. Oncers, unite.
Yes.
Oncer.
Well said.
Oncers, yes, that was my power to the people fist right there.
Oncer fans.
Oncer fans. Okay, so back to Rumple. Back in the day, I liked that we got more of his backstory.
I always
feel
love
like,
his backstory.
yeah, I feel like we've jumped around to so many pieces of his backstory that I never even thought about hearing about how he became the coward of the town. And
I've always wanted to
Yeah.
know that. And so seeing this backstory was excellent for me. I was very happy with this backstory. I mean, I think you heard me 3 times going, oh, ah. So, I mean, it was great.
No, it was very satisfying because, you know, back in the last episodes, you know, we always see just parts, him at the war or him, like, just coming back from the war, but we didn't see what actually happened during the war. We just know that he was a coward, but this actually reveals what he did to become a coward.
Yeah.
how he got there.
Yeah.
I loved seeing that him and Mila were once very happy together.
That was such a short snippet, though.
It was such a short little snippet, but it made me realize why he was so devastated, because the Mila we saw before, she was always just a wicked woman. And
Yeah.
She was a biatch.
yeah, she was a biatch.
That's right.
And so I was so confused as to why Rumple loved this horrible, mean-spirited woman so much that, you know, he was willing to fight and do all these other things just to get her back. And so seeing how they once were and how they were very much in love at one point, it kind of put into perspective and made me more able to understand him.
I need to ask you girls this. So what would you do if your man was at war and he realized you were pregnant, about to have a baby, and so he broke his leg to come back to you? Would you yell at him being like, why were you a coward? Why did you hurt yourself? Or
I'd
would
be
you be like,
like-
thank you for surviving?
I'd be like, babe, you're home. Yeah. I'd be happy.
That's what I'm saying. I think that she is a very thankless woman. And it's just a shame that Rumple fell for her, because she's the reason why he became so evil.
But the thing is, before Rumple even went to the war, Mila said to him, go fight on the front lines, be brave, fight honorably.
Yeah.
And then when he came back, and she found out that he wasn't brave, he didn't fight with honor, that took the turn why
But
she went totally 360 on him.
She's
Yeah.
got to understand, like,
180.
he was about to go to war, but the idea of having a son and not being alive, like the prediction of saying, hey, you're going to die, obviously he's going to want to save himself to be there for Bae, which is so ironic. But
Oh, the
because
irony.
of how it all ends up. Anyway,
Right.
speaking of which, he talked to the Seer,
yes,
who was
She's like
very,
an
very
oracle.
creepy.
the Oedipus
creepy.
Oracle, that's what it reminded me of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's, I can see that now. I don't know why I immediately thought of 3 blind mice.
She was blind.
Yeah, because she was blind, and until her hands had, the
Yeah.
palms of her hands had the eyes on. That
Which
was
reminded
weird.
me of Pan's Labyrinth, if you've
Yeah,
ever
it-
seen that movie.
All that like
That-
Greekish Roman mythology stuff.
Yeah.
I would love to see more of that, by the way. But yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
That was a nice
cool.
creepy element to
Yeah.
Creepy
the thing.
element, but she does tell him the prediction that based on his actions the next day in battle, he would leave his son fatherless. Which, when you listen back and after you see how everything turns out, you realize that she doesn't exactly say, you're going to go out there and die.
I knew there was a gimmick.
Yeah, I was like, and the whole
knew.
time when I heard it, I was trying to figure out, what is she saying really? Because you always know with those types of characters, they're saying something more than you're
More
actually.
cryptic.
Yeah, it's more cryptic, and
She was actually a really nice seer, considering how Rumple was treating her. I think she's just a miserable woman.
she just wanted some water too.
Just wanted water.
She just wanted some
Yeah,
water.
I was like, Rumple, don't give her water. Come on. Come on. She's a seer.
Yeah. So he makes it home, and Mila's not happy about that.
Which is sad.
Yeah, which is sad, and that's kind of the start of where she takes a turn, I guess you could say, and goes off and becomes
Look,
a biatch.
if you are gonna marry a man, you stick with him through thick and thin, even if he's a coward for a moment with good intentions. You do not cheat on him with a hook. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. The Hook is mighty good looking, though.
Oh hey.
But I
Sorry.
think Hook came later on, though.
Yeah, he
later
came.
on. She was already like done with him by then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, okay, so before Rumple gets home, he literally takes, what was that thing? What would we call the thing he hits with leg with?
Looked like a big sledgehammer.
Yeah, like a
Yeah, that's what
sledgehammer.
it was
Big
said.
sledge-
How
Sledgehammer.
painful must that have been? And to do it to yourself?
And that's why he's limping now.
Yeah.
That
I
was
never
another
thought of
moment.
yeah, I never thought about, oh, Rumple has a limp. I wonder why.
Yeah, right?
Never really thought about that before. But I can't believe he did that to himself. That's just ridiculous. Rumple, you need to seek some help or something.
Yeah, I guess he was probably too afraid to shoot himself if that existed.
But
back
he
then.
didn't want to die on the battlefield either.
Yeah. So I guess you have a choice to make when you have a family. And he thought he was making the best choice.
He did.
Didn't work out so well for him with
And you
his
know
wife
what?
or with his son.
To give Rumple a point, it does take bravery to hit yourself with a sledgehammer. It does.
That looked so painful too.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done
I think
it.
we
even
were
for
all
my kid.
wincing
Yeah.
at that point.
I was scared they were going to show it actually like crippling his leg or something.
We saw him walking. crippled,
Yeah,
like,
crippled,
ooh.
but
I think it was the sound effect. We heard like
Oh.
bone cracking.
Oh, Marisa.
so then
Flashback.
Yeah. So then we flash forward to Rumple when he is now the Dark One, and he's gone out into the forest to find the Seer because she had also predicted back then that he would come back to her in the future for more help one day. And so he's looking for Bae at this point. And he wants the full story because he feels like last time he got played, which we could use that against him because as the Dark One, the deals that he makes are always like cryptic in their meaning.
Sure.
And he misleads everyone with his deals. So, how is he then going to be mad at her for doing the same thing he does to people?
I don't.
Does he have a right to be mad at her though?
Well, I think it's just one of those things where you're just stressed, anxious, frustrated. So you see someone, you're like, hey, you're the reason, even though they may not completely be the reason. But again, like, she is the one that gave him the prediction that he was going to die. He assumed that she was talking about battle. So he is easily going to blame her for losing his wife.
Right.
Yeah.
So obviously he's going to have a lot of animosity towards her.
But Rumple did meet the Seer before he became the Dark One. And when he became the Dark One, I think it was because that ambiguity, you know, with all these riddles or whatnot. And I think he found that to be effective. And that's why he does it now, to manipulate other people.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the only time he doesn't
He learned
feel
from
like
his
a
past.
coward, I guess. I think he's so scarred by being called a coward by his wife and losing his wife because of that, that now he's just overwhelmed and consumed by being the Dark One.
And the power that comes with it.
Exactly.
He was so weak for so long that now he
Yeah.
needs this to sort of prove to everyone.
And it's funny
I
because
see that.
you're starting to see Rumple be like past Rumple when you see him interacting with Bae and being afraid of losing him again.
He was really scared.
Yeah.
I felt kind of bad for him. A
I
little bit.
I've been a
did too.
Rumple for the past couple weeks. I'm like, you go, boy. You
I
go.
mean, he's just having a tough time, but he's done so much to so many people that I don't feel right feeling bad for him. But at the same time, he deserves a little bit of pity at this point.
He does. He's lost Belle,
Yes.
his son.
His son.
No one trusts him.
No one likes him.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Tiona doesn't like him.
And Bae did say, I didn't get closure, so neither do you. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that hurts.
That's rough.
Yeah.
So then, the Seer, because she can't give him all the answers that he wants, it's too much for her. She goes, here, you can have my power to see the future, and they do this weird magic transfer.
Yeah, I mean,
Nice, like it.
I think she was under the. I was under the impression she was tired of being the seer. She feels like it's a curse to have all these predictions. That she wanted to give Rumple this curse.
Yeah. And you knew that was going to happen
Yeah.
too, because we know that Rumple can see the future, but
Yep.
we didn't know how he got that power,
Another
that ability. And we're
moment.
like, oh, you meet the seer, she has that power. You knew somehow that was going to happen.
was
He
gonna
was going to
happen.
learn or acquire that ability.
And I like that he kind of got tricked into having this second curse because he was tricked into becoming the Dark One.
Do you think he was tricked? I mean, I think that at this point he really wanted it. He was just like enjoying.
He wanted it, but he wanted it thinking that it was something different. So when he got it and realized that it's not, he's going to have to now, what'd she say, separate what can be from what will be, that it's just a puzzle that he's seeing everything.
Yeah.
He thought he was getting a straight shot, like, this is your future, an easy fix
Right.
to everything. And so he got duped for a second time because
Again.
he really did get duped when he became the Dark One too.
Well, I don't think I've really seen yet his future seeing abilities. I mean, yes, but I want to see how he struggles with it, really. I want to
Yeah.
see more of that, the struggle that it caused.
But Rumple has kind of embraced the Dark One, the dark power, and he's kind of embraced the future, the ability to see the future too. So I don't know if he's really upset yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think Bay is going to be his, well, actually, maybe Henry, but
Yeah, so let's
His
talk
lineage.
about that.
What?
So when the seer said that his reunion with his son would come in an unexpected way, and that a boy would lead him to him, and that the boy is more powerful or stronger, I forget exactly what she said, but he was more powerful than you think he is, and that the boy will be his undoing. And at that time, Rumple says, then I'll just have to kill him. And then we realize that the boy who's been doing all this leading, at least what I gathered from that, is Henry, which he just found out is his grandson. So, do we think Henry's safe?
I don't think anyone is
Henry's
safe.
never, no one's ever safe. But I think I predicted in the very beginning of this season that Henry's somehow
You did.
going to be a big factor in all of this and like
Yep.
save everyone's in something. We don't know exactly how, but and also with that, just the juxtaposition of the scenes, you know, going from that straight to Henry, we're like, oh, and the
Yeah.
fact that the seer said boy, all we know, the only boy that we know is Henry.
I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say Henry is
All
the
roads
game
lead to
changer.
Henry.
Yeah. I mean, he is also the one, like we said at the beginning of this opera show, he brought everyone, he somehow linked to everybody.
Yes. But if Rumple acts on this and hurts Henry, he's going to absolutely ruin his chances of ever being
I don't think he's going to
back
hurt him.
together with Bay.
I think he's going to try to fight, this is me believing in Rumple, he's going to try to fight the prediction of the Oracle. I mean, it's possible. And speaking of, I know this is kind of off topic, but I want to ask you guys, like, do you guys still think, after all this, that still Cora might be...
Regina. We're walking around town as Regina.
No. I mean, like, related, because Cora and Rumple kissed.
You know what?
You know what I mean? I'm talking about
Yeah.
relations here, so...
If they're involved too, and somehow that would just make this family even more
Wouldn't
messed
it be
up.
a mess?
More mess.
That's
This
I'm
would
just
be even
thinking.
more messed up than
Rumple would be Regina's father.
Oh
yeah.
my
And I mean messed up as in like a crazy, rare, very weird family tree where the arrows are the branches are like overlapping and crossing each other
Yeah. So I was just thinking about that, because then Regina would be truly blood related to Henry somehow. I mean, that'd be crazy.
So crazy.
she would not only be his stepmom, but also
And-
his step great grandmother
And adoptive mom.
Yeah.
and
too.
adoptive mom. Because I love the scene when Snow and Charming were trying to figure out this whole when everyone's finding out that wait, Bay is Henry's father, so Rumple is like his grandfather, but I'm his grandfather. You can have more than one.
That's so
Right.
funny. Yeah. I
But
mean,
I love how the characters are exact same boat that we are,
We
the
are.
audience.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure it out too.
That's just crazy. So hopefully I don't know if I can trust that Rumple won't try to harm Henry if it means it's going to be the demise of him.
But it's his grandson, so I'm sure like he cares about his grandson almost as much as he cares about his direct son.
But he let his direct son fall
I
through a
don't think
portal
so.
and
He's
be on his
changed.
own.
He's
Oh.
changed.
Oh, we're going with the
Hopefully.
changed.
I'm
They
going
always
with
say
the
they've
regret.
changed.
Rumple cares more about Bae than he ever cared about Henry.
But well, things might change now. Again, change.
Things
I mean,
might.
Rumple
might.
has regret and sorrow, and he is bonding with Emma. So
He was bonding with Henry through
Yeah.
the episode. They had a couple
they're
scenes
hanging
together
out,
where,
waiting for Emma.
yeah, when Henry told him, I think your son's gonna forgive you. Like I forgave my mom
Mm-hmm.
when she said that she gave me up because it was the best thing for me. Granted, Rumple didn't exactly give up Bae, kind of
Yeah.
dropped him through a portal, but slight difference. But there were some tender moments between the two of them where you kind of saw Rumple looking at Henry in a different, I don't know if a different light, I don't know if they've spent much time together really in the past, but he was hanging out with Henry like, okay, this kid's kind of cool. Then he looked at him at the end, sort of like, oh, I might have to hurt you, little boy, if you try to take me down. So we'll see.
We will see. And
It's hard to predict because Rumple, you can see him do evil things and then good things.
Good
so he's really a split man.
You like the evil ones.
I do. Regina and
and
Rumple. I mean, I believe in change, and I believe in making mistakes and living in regret. And it's like you don't want to live in regret, and like let people accept you and make a change with you. Anyway, that's my thing.
Second chances.
Second
sure.
chances.
Second chances.
Speaking, I don't even know, not speaking of second chances, but let's talk about, because Storybrook had a couple little things happening throughout this episode. Well, not exactly little. They were kind of big things. So Regina, we see her and Cora sitting together, and she's really worried about Henry, which as his mother, she should be, because Henry left town. No one told her about it. She was really mad about that last week, that no one thought to ask her if it was okay for Henry to leave. And then they had an interesting conversation because Hook then joins in and says, oh, where's Rumple gone? He's out of the city. That means he doesn't have any magic with him, which means I can actually kill him because it's a fair fight. And Regina said that none of them were victims of the curse. So it wasn't about like not having or it was about magic and not about losing their identities and memories when they cross the line. So does that mean if Cora, Regina, or Hook were to cross over, that at least Cora and Regina would still have their powers?
I don't know, because
Maybe.
honestly, I don't know if Storybrook's a real world. Maybe this outsider's Greg has something special about him that led him to that. I don't even know if we'd be able to enter Storybrook still.
Yeah.
If the Muggles can enter Storybrook.
Right.
It's like platform 9 3/4.
Pretty
I mean,
much.
first of all, Regina shouldn't be mad because she was in hiding. They didn't know where she was.
Exactly, right?
Second, Cora looked awesome in her human outfit. Or I guess
She's assimilating well.
yeah,
is,
she looked
and fast.
rocking like
Right.
hair and everything.
I mean, I feel like it was just a couple weeks ago when she was in a car and it goes, these carriages are very
I
strange.
know. No, she looks fantastic.
She looks hot now.
But you could tell the physical differences of the characters. Though it looks like this was the first episode they shot after a hiatus on their on
Yeah.
their
On their
part.
schedule.
I was gonna
Like
say
their hairstyles were different. They were longer. They were darker colors.
Because
Like,
I was gonna say Henry looks a little older. He's growing
Yeah.
fast.
He is.
So
Sweet little kid.
yes.
So they decide that instead of going after Rumple to New York, they actually need to just find this dagger because if they find the dagger, they can either use it against him, like stab him and kill him with it, or they can control him with it. So Regina then goes to the hospital to pay a little visit to Belle, see what she might know or not know, since Belle doesn't have a memory, Regina. Way to manipulate that.
Belle's still in the hospital.
I kind of feel like it's because she has nowhere else to go. She doesn't remember anything. She doesn't trust anyone here except for probably Greg because he was honest with her at the end of the last episode.
How boring is it in a hospital? Wouldn't you
Yeah,
want to
I
get
mean,
out and
she
try
doesn't
to find your memory?
Right. She doesn't seem physically hurt. I'm surprised that they haven't released her yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Marissa.
But she is kind of a Jane Doe at this point.
And do you think part of it might be because they don't want anything to happen to her? Because, I mean, Rumple did tell David and Snow, don't let anything happen to her while I'm gone, or else I will kill
you.
everybody up in this
That's right.
place.
I think it's the creator's way of making her stay close to Greg, so he constantly keeps seeing magic. That's
That could work too.
what I think might be the reason.
And the magic, Regina knocks her out after realizing that, oh, it is true, Belle. You don't remember anything, or me, or anyone. So puts her to sleep and then uses her magic to kind of lift up all the articles in her purse. And in there is an index card with some numbers on it. It was 915.63, right?
That's what I got.
Yep.
And it made me start thinking about numbers again.
Yeah, me
and
too.
how everything is numbers. And I cannot for the life of me put anything together with those specific numbers right now.
And also Bay's apartment too. It looked like it was number 407.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
I
didn't
wonder
even
if that
count
had
that.
significance too. 407.
I don't
Random.
know.
But yes.
All these numbers that I keep track of. I just don't know why I'm keeping track of them
Maybe
yet.
sometimes they're
One
just
day,
numbers.
yeah, sometimes I feel like
But they're
it's
probably
just
not.
a number.
They're probably not.
Dewey Decimal System. It's the library.
And when you guys saw that number on the card, did you think library?
Yeah.
No, I
Yes.
didn't.
Okay. I think I was a little slow with it too.
Me too.
because
I thought of library only because I've worked in the library. I know
So
what
you.
book numbers look like, and yes, Belle did work in the library too. So
I think once
I
I
made
saw
that connection.
once I saw that Regina was going to the library, I said to myself, "Duh, it's
Yeah, right.
Belle."
Made perfect sense.
But in my head, I see 3 digits with a decimal point and then 2 more. I think it's a dollar amount. So I'm like, oh, we
Oh.
got some money coming in? $915? That's where my mind immediately went to, was money.
well, it was too short of a number to be any coordinates to anywhere, so it had to be book.
Good catch. So in the library, Hook is there. They find a map that they don't know is a map at first. It kind of looks like
I thought it-
scribbles.
I thought it looked like a map, but I was like, I saw it real quick. There was only like 2 icons.
Yeah, that's what kind of threw me.
That's when you need a hook in your life,
Yeah,
right?
that's when Hook comes in handy. And then as soon as he deciphers it for you, it's like, oh, okay, we're rid of you now.
I got this.
Yeah, we don't need
Done.
your help right now. And he just keeps getting used by everyone.
I feel kind of bad for
just to
him.
get what they want, and then they kind of toss him out to the side.
But see, honestly, he's not like my favorite character in this episode. I mean, in this season at all. I guess he is useful, but
Yeah, I think they're still finding
His character had a
exactly.
bigger storyline when he was first introduced.
Yes,
Now that
the
that's
first
kind
half.
of over, he's just around.
And now that he's kind of got
Pretty
now that
much.
he's kind of gotten revenge on Rumple, because he did say, this is better for you to live knowing that the woman you love will never remember who you are, or anything like that. But now he's talking about killing him too. So
yeah.
my thought was, well, why didn't you just do that to begin with? Why did Belle have to be collateral damage if you
True.
just wanted to kill him?
Yeah, so do you guys
be
think
too
that,
easy.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that Hook is around because there's going to be a battle eventually between him and Rumple again, part 2?
I don't think they can live in that small town together.
No.
There's gonna
Yeah.
be a showdown.
They have to have a showdown at some point.
I know I might be jumping the gun, but do you think Hook and Bay are related still somehow in this? Not like family related, but
That's
I still think that when Hook left after Mila was killed and he went down that portal and he said to Neverland, I always assumed it was to go try and get Rumple's son, because that's who he was concerned with at that time. So I still kind of think that Bay might have been Peter Pan,
so maybe that's why Hook's still around because Bay.
because Peter Pan's coming down.
I mean,
maybe?
so many things.
that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
would.
And I think it could explain a little bit of the age thing, because Rumple's been looking
Right.
for him for ages, and he's only like 28, 29
Yeah.
years old.
Late 20s,
Late 20s, early 30s, and he should be
like
older
late
than that.
late 30s.
Yeah,
early
so
40s.
Cora and Regina, after they get rid of Hook in the library, they talk about how they don't need to use the dagger to necessarily kill Rumple. Well, this is Cora telling Regina. You can use it to control him, so that once he's back in Storybrook, if they have the dagger, he knows they have the control, and they can get him to kill Snow, Charming, and Emma, which would leave Henry with no one but Regina to come running to.
You know how disappointed I was in seeing Regina smile about that?
That was terrible.
Yes, I'm
The
about to throw my
depravity.
pen right now.
No, the depravity, you know, just killing a family just so your son can come back to you. Oh, that's pure evil.
Maybe
Yes.
Regina's bipolar because I don't think I somehow think she's gonna pull through somehow, and Cora is still manipulating her daughter.
Because Regina can't have Henry back that way.
No.
Because Henry, it would be forced upon him, and he would never let her hear the end of it. He would never love her the way she wants to be loved by him.
But that's the problem is what if Henry is convinced that Rumple did it? That's gonna suck too.
He will be for a while, but
they're
you
not
know,
gonna die,
those
but-
secrets always come out.
Yes.
You always
Oh,
find out who
reveal
was really
themselves.
behind something eventually.
Yes, that's true.
But do you think Henry would even go back to Regina if that she actually executed
Well,
his
I
family?
think for a short
No.
time he wouldn't know. But I think then again he's smarter than that. So, but then again, one more time. But then again, I don't think Emma or Prince Charming or Snow will die anytime soon.
I don't
So
think
rest assured.
they can't.
No, they can't
To-
kill the good
I mean,
characters of Once
I
Upon a Time.
understand that we can take this story anywhere we want with it as the creators, you know, Eddie and Adam can do whatever they want. But I think it would be crazy if they actually killed a Snow White. I don't think fans would react well to that.
Yeah,
no.
Never.
But
It would be pure dishevelment.
If you think about it, they really haven't killed off a lot of people. They've always written them off somehow, like they went away. We don't actually see killing.
That's
Yeah.
true.
So I don't
Or
think
Sheriff
it would happen.
Graham.
Yeah, other than Sheriff Graham
Maybe he'll
Yeah.
come back.
and like squeezing hearts.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I think that about wraps up.
Well, how about real quick the Greg?
Oh yeah, I forgot the Greg part.
Yeah.
So he's still talking to girl, or
Right,
her on the
Girls
phone.
she's a girl.
She's a girl. Her.
Her.
I'm still so upset with that name in the phone
Right.
as her. So he's on the phone with her saying, "Oh, we have. They said I'm good enough to be released, but I think I'm gonna hang out here a little bit longer."
So annoying.
And she says, "Why?" And he says, "Why? Look at this." And he has a video of Regina using magic to get all the stuff out of Belle's purse. So I like how at the end of
That's
every
frustrating.
episode they throw one little part with Greg in there. I forgot he was there this week. I forgot not who he was, but I just forgot that he was
He's
even
still
still in the
there.
hospital
He's still
because
there.
I was so focused on Emma and Henry and Bay and all that stuff happening. But I love how they sprinkled that in there right at the end just to throw you off a little bit. Like, what is he there for? How does he know about this place? Who are you?
He's
Who's her?
obviously a super
her?
fan
My goodness.
like us.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, a super fan just like us.
I had a thought, but I'll save it for predictions.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Hold that thought.
Hold that
I will
thought.
hold it.
Alright.
I will hold it.
So let's get into some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Oh, that's me. I'm like, oh,
Tiona,
yeah.
you're up.
And
News
go.
and gossip. Who's got it? That's me. Okay, so on Twitter recently, the official Twitter at Once ABC has been doing this really cool thing that a lot of other shows have been doing too, called script teases. So what basically they do, they say, hey, if we get 1,000 retweets of this, we'll show you a one line or two lines from the script of this week's episode so that you can try to guess what's happening. It's really fun. So if you're not following them already, make sure you follow them on Twitter. It's kind of fun to try to predict what the scenario is within the scenes that you're seeing, and
Oh,
even
cool.
you know, because it's random lines, so it's a lot of fun. That's how I pass the time at work. Don't tell my boss.
Well, if she watches, you're in trouble.
Yeah, exactly, right? TV Guide had a lightning round with creators Adam Horowitz and Eddie Kitsis, and there are some great fan questions that were asked on there, just to highlight a few of them. Someone asked if Belle would be able to get her memory back ever, if it was possible. And they answered that they liked their show, and they liked that no matter how dire the circumstances, short of death, we like to think there's always hope. So then the real sort of storyline would be how Rumple is able to help Belle get her memory back, because we know Rumple is going to be the one really, really wanting to have her back basically. So I thought that was a good little tease about what could happen, Marissa.
Okay, I'll save it for predictions.
Okay, and then another tease in there was someone asked, now that Charming and Snow are back together, could we have a baby possibly? And they did tease the possibility of a little bit of a sibling rivalry, maybe with Emma and a new baby at some point. They didn't say this season. They said at some point it would be fun to see how Emma reacts, since that child would actually have the pleasure of growing up with both her parents, or his or her parents, and how she reacts to that. And then just the last bit of news I have, the Paley Fest. Paley Fest is coming up. It's March 3rd, 2 Sundays from tonight.
Yes.
A lot of cast members will be at the Once Upon a Time panel. Jennifer Morrison, Jenny Goodwin, Josh Dallas, Robert Carlyle, Lana Parrilla, Colin Donahue, and Emily DeRavin. Did I say that? DeRavin, yeah. Are all confirmed to be there as of right now. I know that we're excited.
So that's everybody.
Yeah, that's everybody. And, Adam.
No Barbara Hershey?
No.
No Cora?
Darn. Not as of now, but you never know who might still surprise us in there.
You guys should have a contest on who can get the most autographs or something.
Oh yeah, because Marissa and I will both be in attendance.
We're going.
I think I might go.
Yes. I mean, if any of the fans want to go to pallyfest.org and you can get tickets there. It's super easy.
And you might see us.
Yeah,
if you're in the LA.
And say hi, because we love you guys.
And it's the first week that Once Upon a Time is back after this Oscars break, so that's also exciting too, that we get to go do that and then come straight here and tell you guys all about it.
Yeah.
So.
Because that's a Sunday too.
Yeah, that's a Sunday. Fun.
Excited.
All right.
Did you guys come in costume?
We could maybe.
I'm just saying, I dare you to come in costume. Yay!
Okay.
We did dress up once
Do it
for the
again.
show.
Yeah, Halloween. So
You can be
Halloween. That
Princess
was fun.
Tiana.
yes. Yes, I will be Princess Tiana.
Pocahontas.
Okay, let's get into some predictions.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
I just want to start with Marissa
I know,
because
me
she's
too.
already
I
over
like
here. Her face
I'm
is just
freaking out.
all excited. She has something to say.
My wheels are turning. Okay, I have a couple actually. What if her doesn't really necessarily mean her? Maybe they're initials to someone. Capital
Hold that glass.
capital H-E-R. It could be someone like, who do we know who have those initials?
No.
I don't know. Maybe they're initials to someone.
Henry, blank blank.
Maybe. Okay, and then another one
Doubt it.
for Belle's
Memory.
memories. Lake Nostos. Anyone?
Restoring
It has
powers.
restorative powers.
Which makes me think poor, was it Sleepy who went over the line first?
Yes.
I don't remember. It
can't
was
remember.
one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was either Sleepy
I
or
mean,
Sneezy.
we couldn't have thought maybe Lake Nostos water for him too, because he's still running around.
Well, how were they going to get Lake Nostos water?
No, it was
They had the
Sneezy.
well.
It was
Yeah,
Sneezy
I think it
because
was
it's the
Sneezy,
pharmacist. Yeah.
Yeah, Sneezy. But they had the well there that
That has
Yeah.
I mean,
it's linked somehow.
Emma and Snow White came back through the well. It has, they have the ability to get, they have access to Lake Nostos.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
all right.
Good predictions, Marissa.
Thank you.
One thing is, I'm wondering about the harvesting of these magic beans.
Yes.
Obviously, these are going to be huge factor into getting back to Storybrook, or whether there's going to be a battle that's going to ensue. And looking at another prediction is the future episode in 2 weeks. Hook's Rumple.
Yeah.
So, and Bay's there, so maybe Bay does come back to Storybrook.
That was going to be my prediction. Bay.
I'm sorry, I stole your
No,
prediction.
Bay says, he's not going to go back with his dad originally, but after meeting Henry and Emma, with Bay back in Storybrook and Hook there too, Hook, Emma, Bay, love triangle, go.
Go. Okay.
Go. That's my prediction. I wasn't really telling you guys to go anywhere.
But see, you guys are totally pro Hook and Emma. I am not. I think that's just a lot of flirtation going on. It's like you're going to a bar and you're like, what up, cow? And that's it.
I think
is,
it's
but
the
can-
sexual tension.
It's sexual tension that I think Emma can use to make Neil jealous, because she's still heartbroken and thinks
Is she
that
really
he
gonna be doing
abandoned
that?
him.
I mean, she's old enough
Hey.
to know that jealousy is not the answer.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's what feels right.
That's true.
Yes.
I hear a theme
So
song.
let us know what you guys think. If you have any opinions on
In the
any of
hook,
this.
literally.
Yes. Let us know. You can go find us on Twitter. I'm at tweet22 on Twitter and Instagram. And I have to give a big shout out to Christopher Wallace. He's a Twitter follower. I told him I would give him a shout out today. He's an awesome fan.
true, he is.
And he
Big
really
fan.
loves to keep the conversations going. He makes me think every week. So thank
So,
you, Chris, for being
gracias.
a watcher and listener.
And we love talking to you too.
Yes.
I'm on Twitter and on Instagram at Serafini TV.
And I'm on Twitter and Tumblr at KAORIOUS. And you can follow me at Why Don't I Show.
Yes, so we won't be here next week because the show's not on because of the Oscars. We're okay with that. But we'll be back in 2 weeks, and Kathy will be back with us too. So until then,
And we'll have information from the Paley
yeah,
Fest,
and we'll
too.
have information from there too. Hopefully some
Yes.
really juicy gossip.
Yeah. And don't forget to follow us all on AfterBuzz TV at Twitter.
And check out Kevin and Maria Menounos' trailer, The Serial Buddies, coming out March 8th to select cities, LA, San Francisco, Boston, Chicago, and New York.
It's really funny, guys. Go
Yes,
check it
it's
out.
hilarious. After Adventures of Serial Buddies, go to serialbuddies.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
So until next time, oncers, we'll see you later.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.